Hello, girls, guys, or otherwise. This is Rich, and welcome to another Christo-Pagan Sunday. So, this week, I had put it up to a vote as to which lesson we have for this Sunday. Do we do a lesson from the canonical scriptures, or do we do the spellcrafting in the Bible? And I got votes for each. Um, it's evenly distributed, so we're going to kind of do both, I think. Um, so today's lesson that I wanted to talk about involves something that happened this week. I had kind of a weird week. It has a lot of emotions attached, not like, sad emotions, not happy emotions, not laughter or joy or sorrow or anything like that. And it's one that seems to actually have a lot of effect on uh, our let's say, especially if you're in the United States, a lot on us as people who are somewhat involved in the political spectrum as far as watching how politics plays out and the well-being of others and making sure that other people are being safe during a global pandemic. And that feeling is anger. uh, and it's not something that I usually try to feed. uh, Certainly I'm one of those ones that will go onto Facebook, find somebody who spouts some sort of nonsense, and I'll correct them, and then I'll step back, and we'll get into an argument. But that wasn't the only thing. That's quite commonplace for me. I guess, kind of a troll, but I always troll with the best of intentions. You know, trying to help people see that what they're talking about, what they're spouting, is incorrect. Um, the studies that they cite are incorrect. The articles that they cite are nonsensical and aren't rooted in fact or anything like that. So part of that's that. But that wasn't all of it. This week, as I have stated earlier this week, our puppies had to get fixed. Now, on Thursday morning, whenever I was when I was home, the puppies woke me up early in the morning, as puppies tend to do. And this is the day after they got fixed. So they woke me up. My partner was outside having a cigarette, and I was irritated as all hell to be woken up, not having a lot of sleep, to be woken up and having to take them outside, that he didn't have them outside. And I was a little angry about that. And then Friday at like midnight, got woken up again for the same reason. And we still kennel train and whatnot. And I let them out, brought them back. This is only a couple hours after I fell asleep, so already a little sleep deprived. And then they woke me up again at like 6 o'clock ish, which is their normal time to go out and whatnot. But it's like I wanted to sleep. I wanted to rest and have a nice restful sleep that night or into that morning and whatnot, so I could just rest and be and kind of do things at my own pace to get up and get moving and greet the day, seeing that I didn't have to be at work. However, the puppies had different plans, making me fairly angry that I had to take them out. And you know what? It's not on my partner to take out the dog, so I'm happy to do it. That's something that they need. They were asleep whenever he went outside, and I brought them out. And then during the day on Friday, while I was working in the house a little bit, just doing some light cleaning and whatnot. They kept on coming into the kitchen. Now, I have one rule, and that is that dogs don't go in the kitchen. Uh, it's something that started with Coda, is that I had a small galley kitchen in my first apartment where I first got Coda. And I had a rule like he's a big dog. He can't be in the kitchen. Whenever I'm in there, I'm going to trip, fall, or I'm going to knock something over because, I'm trying to get around him. Somebody's going to end up getting hurt. So I always told him, I said, you don't go in the kitchen. And he would sit there with his paws right at the threshold, and he would not go in my kitchen. If he put one paw over, and I'd tell him, I'd say, you're in my kitchen, and he would back that paw up. So I enjoy this rule because it is a place where, sometimes things fall on the ground. You don't want the dog to eat them because it could make them sick, that type of thing. Sometimes utensils fall, knives fall off the counter, if you're not careful and whatnot. Glasses can fall on the floor, things can get broken. And I don't want a dog to be in that situation. So we decided fairly early on, even whenever we had Winnie, to make a solid rule of dogs don't go in the kitchen. And as I was getting lunch and as I was cleaning up in the kitchen, they kept on going in. Now, they should know by now where they're not allowed to be. That is a place where they're not allowed to be. And I understand they are puppies. And they are like little toddlers that will do what they want to do because that's that's their nature, is to explore and be exploratory, and also to be around the human that they are bonding to. I understand that. That's natural, that's normal. But it made me angry because as many times as I said it, they were not listening. And then we come to last night, whenever I was in bed waiting to fall asleep. This is like 20 after 10, still trying to fall asleep, and the dogs were whining. They wanted my partner, which was outside watching one of those competition singing shows on his phone. So I said, you know what, go out, go with daddy, because I'm Papa, he's daddy. I said, go out with daddy. And I told him, I said, whenever you're done, just bring them in, I don't care. Just make sure you put them away and whatnot. And it was fine. He brought them in, put them away. About 5 minutes after he gets into bed and everything, they start whining again. I flip out. He's like, I will take them back outside. I'll try to, tire them out. I said, no. I said, I want to go out and have a cigarette and calm down because right now I am pissed. And there's no real reason. I mean, I'm not pissed at my partner. He did nothing wrong. I'm not pissed at the dogs for being, naturally wanting of attention from their human beings. I was just angry. And I was also partially angry at myself because I hadn't come up with a lesson for this week. And this being Saturday night, it dawned on me last night while I was having that cigarette, while I was getting ready for bed and trying to calm myself down and become rational about what was really irritating me all this time. And it's that feeling of just having an abrasiveness against you for a while. And I end up settling on the topic of anger and irritation in that anger, that irritableness. that I experienced last night, and even somewhat today, because the real thing that irritated me with the puppies and their actions are that they still have wounds from getting fixed. So they have stitches that could be broken by them playing, by them roughhousing. I just want them to lay down and heal. And that's not what they had in mind, and it's going to get worse if they don't do that. So it's irritation from several different things that have all rubbed me the wrong way this week to make me quite an angry individual, climaxing as of yesterday. And I have to say there was a blessing in all of this because I came up with a topic for Sunday. But and I had a couple different ideas here and there. I'm like, oh no, that's too long. I can't do that with a spellcrafting one as well, and this and that. And I waffled between a couple ideas, and they're gonna those ideas are going to rise, in the future, in future videos. So don't worry about those. Those ones are still intact. But I said, you know what? This would be a perfect lesson for a Christo-Pagan Sunday whenever there are so many individuals who are divided not only for political stances, but for religious stances, for social stances, for the because other people don't see things from our point of view, or we can't see things from their point of view, and usually it's because their point of view doesn't matter, but I'm gonna get past that. So yeah, it's been a week, and one of the things with the whole Facebook situation was my cousin being irresponsible about her parenting, even though I'm not a parent, and usually I would say, parent responsibly and be at it. But no, my cousin was very anti-mask for her children while they go to school, and that is a dangerous situation. You're talking public safety, health issues, and being health conscious, and you're not going to allow your kids to be healthy or to spread awareness of having healthy actions, and you're not going to teach your kids the personal responsibility that, hey, just because you may not get sick doesn't mean you're not going to get other people sick. So it was very much an irritation in my life early on this week. So I said, you know what? I have a lesson here. And this one thing that whenever I was looking up verses to connect to this, because of course you can connect so many verses to so many different aspects, but I think this one fits it best. And it's from Ephesians 4:31 and 32. And this is from the Orthodox Study Bible as well. And it reads, "Let all bitterness, wrath, anger, clamor, and evil speaking be put away from you, with all malice. And be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you." So there is a little note here on 31 and 32. And it says, "Cut off clamor, and you will clip the wings of anger. There is but one thing in which it is useful, to cry aloud, in preaching and teaching." So, yeah, okay, I can see that. And there's also a note for verse 32 there. "We cannot be content only to root our weeds," mentioned in verse 31. "We must plant good fruit as well." And I kind of like that. So let's explore this verse. And I know I took a long time to tell a story here, but just hang around. So what this verse is really saying is, we do have these emotions. We carry these emotions. We hold them, and sometimes we hold on to them way too tight. We let those things live rent free in our mind, in our psyche, in our spiritual, aura and whatnot. We let them sit there. We tether ourselves to these things, and yeah, we give them space. The bitterness, the wrath, the anger, the clamor, and evil speaking. Yeah. So, what do we do with that? How do we calm ourselves down, bring ourselves to center, and, get on with our best selves, trying to better ourselves each and every day? I may not have a single pointed answer as to how you do this. It's differing for each individual person. Sometimes it's just purely meditating, sitting with those feelings, and being calm with them. Yeah, I see Jelly over there. She's staring at me fiercely. It's sitting with those feelings and, acknowledging them and rationalizing them and getting past those and letting them go. And then there's sometimes whenever you actually have to take some action. And one of the actions that you can take is, again, as per usual, petitions. We talked the other day, or I talked to y'all, about, doing a doll baby for a petition. So, let's see. If I were to write a petition as to my anger in addressing it, what I would do is I would mark down what I'm angry about. Let's see, irrational people. Let's see, okay. And you can do this multiple times. Look, irrational people. Probably spelled it wrong, don't care. Okay. Now, we did talk about in the prior video, the one for Wednesday, about, folding things towards you to bring in those good things, those good energies. This time we're going to do the opposite. And we're going to fold it away from us, because we want these individuals, these things that make us angry, we're going to fold them away from us. We're going to neutralize this in a way that, you can do with, I guess, instant magic, as taught by Christopher Penzak in, I believe it's the Inner Temple of Witchcraft, where we read about that. But you can also do it with petitions. Why not? And then fold it again away from you. Now, you can fold it as many times as you feel is needed. You can also do folding in threes. You can fold away from you once, away from you twice, making a 3 fold. And then turn it, and then fold it away from you, and then fold it away from you. Now, you're sending these energies away. What's the easiest way to get rid of those energies? And of course I don't have one, but you take your candle and you set fire to the little son of a guns. Yeah, you set fire to them, you let that smoke flow away, take out your athame, cut those cords that are binding you to that individual. You can envision this as a cord, and you are effectively taking that cord and it singes those cords away. Kind of, your body doesn't catch fire, but those cords from the point that the paper burns on out to whoever is connecting with that, and on down to you will singe and will be lit ablaze and burn to a cinder all the way until it reaches you, and then it stops, and it kind of cauterizes at that point. And I think that would be the easiest way to get rid of those types of anger feelings, the situations that make us angry. Now, we can't totally and indefinitely stay away from those things that make us angry. Certainly, there are going to be issues, there are going to be times where we become angry and we become irrationally pissed off at some of the injustices that are done out there and whatnot. Jelly, you are on camera. Don't go showing your hoo-ha. Thank you. But just because we can't avoid those things doesn't mean we can't have that moment of respite where we sit there logically looking upon these things and saying, hey, there is no reason for me to be angry about this anymore. The things were said, the things are done. You know, these are little animal people that need to experience life in the way that they naturally experience it. And in this situation, it is perfectly natural for them to want to jump around, play around, whine, complain, and want to be close to their humans. Absolutely, that is rational, that is expected, that is hoped for. But not at certain times. And yeah, they don't realize, our time schedule and whatnot, and that some people have work in the morning and some people might not, but they still want to sleep for a little bit longer. Some people don't realize that. Well, some animals don't realize that, and that's something that we have to rationalize and say, you know what, it's okay. They're animals that are not understanding of our methods of keeping time. So, to take the example here of verse 32, be kind to one another, tender-hearted, and forgiving one another. Yes. Now, there's also the other side of this. Those who are cognizant of the situations that make you angry and they push your buttons, such as I did, quite honestly, in that Facebook comment battle, where my cousin ends up threatening my life and whatnot, threatening, don't you dare come home, otherwise I'll show you what bad parenting is. Yeah. She knows what pushes my buttons. She knows that I don't give up on fights. And she will just keep on back and forth with her irrational claims and saying that she's not going to get her children vaccinated or make them wear a mask, or that, oh my gosh, it could be terrible for them. You know what else could be terrible? Them dying. And then laughing whenever I say, hey, your children could die from this, and not taking that as a serious thing that it actually is. She knows this stuff pushes my buttons. She knows that the caringness that I have for individuals, yes, I also have a need to be right in my life. I have practiced very hard at being right all the time, which I know I'm not. But she knows that I don't easily back away from those situations. And she used it. She used it against me. So what do? Do I just lick my wounds a little bit? Do I hope for her mind to change on this? I don't have the answers for that. Do I approach her, tenderheartedness, in forgiving her? I find that very difficult to do. And the reason I find that very difficult is because she's intentionally putting others in danger. This is not something that warrants forgiveness whenever the person doing the wrong thing doesn't realize that they need forgiveness, or that don't even feel that they're sorry. So to me, I have differing views on forgiveness. I don't do it just willy-nilly. the person that I forgive needs to kind of needs to have that wanting to be forgiven. I find it very difficult to be tender-hearted towards somebody who intentionally goes out there to hurt somebody else, or possibly put other people in danger that, is in their care. So, I don't know how I feel about this. I could be kind. Again, something very hard to do whenever somebody is putting their children in that situation. I don't have the answer. And I doubt any of us really have the answer. Is it sit back and just hope for the best, waiting to see what happens in the future? Possibly. But what I can do is I can constantly look for the answer. And I think that's really what it comes down to, is a constant striving for being our best selves and being better than what we were yesterday. Trying to constantly excel and, by day, constantly striving to be better than what I was the day before. And I think that's where it really lies. And I think that's kind of where I leave you today. I didn't have a great spell crafting in the Bible to have with this lesson, and I don't really have that much diving into a lesson this week. But it's something that was weighing on my mind ever since yesterday, whenever I threw the sheets off, or the blanket off of me in bed, and I said, I'm going out to smoke, I'm pissed. Yeah. And so yeah, that's what I have about the topic of anger today. Sometimes it happens, and we don't need to have the answers. And I think that's really something that is the big takeaway, is we don't have all the answers, and we may never have all the answers, but at very least we strive to find the answers. And so that's where I leave you today. If you've had a similar week, go ahead and share your week down in the comments below. Remember, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, because YouTube might do what it's supposed to do and, show you whenever new videos come up. Hit that like or dislike button. Doesn't matter to me, but it all appeases the algorithmic gods of YouTube. All hail the algorithmic gods of YouTube. And yeah, leave comments. And until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.